Hello, my name is Charlie Moe, and I am here to talk to you about Manfred von Richthofen, or as he's more commonly known, the Red Baron. He was born in Breslau, Germany in 1892, on May the 2nd. He died April 17th, 1917, over France. The Red Baron was born to a middle-class family in Germany. He always loved hunting, and, well, that transformed into hunting humans. He's most famous for his 80 aerial victories fighting over Germany, France, etc. He was a top fighter ace of World War I, ace meaning over 5 aerial victories. This is not the Red Baron. The Red Baron in real life never even had a mustache or wore a red scarf. This is the real Red Baron. Notice he has no mustache, scarf, or goggles, or leather hat. The Red Baron looked much different. He received many German medals of honor, and he actually lived out his life as a cavalry captain. Surprisingly, though, he was an aerial combat person. Snoopy may be a popular cartoon character, and he may be impersonating fighting the Red Baron over the skies of Europe in World War I. But I'm sure the Red Baron never faced Snoopy. But what this documentary is really about is how the Red Baron died. It was a strange event for an aerial combat master, and it involved quite a bit of sharpened shooting. The plane that Richthofen was pursuing was the Sopwith Camel. It was the main Allied fighter in the Eastern and Western fronts. In this dogfight, or aerial combat, the plane that the Red Baron was flying was the Fokker D-1. Don't mistake me for swearing. It was a triplane used by the Germans. It was on the cutting edge of technology. The Red Baron painted it red mainly for show. The other men in his squadron also painted their planes red. Not because they were wannabes of the Red Baron, they just didn't want him to be singled out. But some say that this red coating actually got the Baron killed, because it might make him more visible in cloud cover. The man who was chasing Richthofen was Captain Arthur Roy Brown of Canada. He was credited with 11 German victories, and obviously the Baron didn't want this man to see another day. But the Baron was too busy chasing the other plane that he didn't notice this pursuer. The Baron wasn't actually shot down. He was just shot through the lungs and parts of his heart. It was a very gruesome way to die. Although he did manage to make a safe landing in a field outside the Australian camp. The Australians shot him down. After the Baron was shot, he was able to make a hasty landing in a field outside the Australian camp. Arthur Roy Brown of Canada was not in the Australian camp. He was just probably on a patrol. When the Australian soldiers rushed over to him, they heard the Baron's last words, which were "kaput," or "the end" in German. 10 minutes later, villagers from the village near the Australian camp came and dismantled his plane. So much for finding out about that plane. He was given a very well-respected burial in France. No one will never really know why, but I'm pretty sure that it was to keep on good relations with the Germans. They just didn't throw him in a pond and then burn him with a flamethrower. Surprisingly, lots of Allied squadrons sent, each one, put a wreath on his coffin. Despite all their losses, they put a wreath on the coffin. In 1933, during Nazi-occupied Germany, the Germans came and dug up his body and gave him a hero's burial in Berlin. He lays there today in his permanent rest space. Final thoughts. In the end, the Baron was a very successful pilot. But the reason I chose this project is because I wanted people to know beyond the pizza and Snoopy. I wanted people to know who he really was. He was the man who was the foundation for all aerial combat throughout the rest of the world. But you could say that he did change history. Those are my final thoughts. Goodbye, and I hope you remember this.